Hey, I'm Shanda Golden, and you're in the vault. We're hanging out with my friend Keith St. John.
What's up, Shanda?
Hey, so Ronnie Montrose remembered 2019.
Yes.
You have a huge list of players. Who's on the bill?
Let's see. It's a huge list of players this year. You're right. It's George Lynch from Doc and Lynch Mob, Tracy Guns from LA Guns, Derek St. Holmes from Ted Nugent's band, Jack Russell's Great White entire band, Dave Amato from REO, Frank Hanna from Tesla, Doug Aldrich from Whitesnake, Dio, Dead Daisies, James Kotek from the Scorpions, Robert Mason from Warrant, Sean McNabb from Dokken and Montrose as well, Greg Golden from the Greg Golden Band, Mick Mahan, original bass player from Pat Benatar, who's still playing with Pat Benatar. Finally got him on the bill.
Wonderful.
Finally got him on the bill. Randy Jackson from Zebra, one of my hometown heroes. They were famous before I ever hit the clubs on Long Island.
I love Zebra.
Yeah, me too.
I love Zebra.
It's so amazing to have Randy. Yeah. I'll tell you what I want. I want Randy Jackson to come and play Ronnie Montrose Remember 2019. I got Andrew Freeman, who is now in the Ronnie James Dio band Last in Line, but he's from The Offspring and Raiding the Rock Vault. I've got Jeff Cathan, who's the drummer from the Paul Rogers band, who I've known for years and years, and he knew Ronnie. I got Jimmy DeGrasso, who was in Ozzy, Alice Cooper, he's in Rat now. He was also in Montrose for about 4 or 5 years with me. Jason Hartless is Ted Nugent's current drummer. He's a young guy, but he's brilliant, balls out brilliant. Ed Roth, who helps me put these together, who was Ronnie's really dear friend. Before I met Ronnie, Ed Roth introduced me and Ronnie. He's a keyboard player. He played with Annie Lennox and a whole bunch of other 9 Grammy winners Ed Roth played with. Jimmy Paxson, who's on tour with Lindsey Buckingham, but he's taking a break to come and do this. Cool. He was with Stevie Nicks for 1 billion years, go figure, and the Dixie Chicks. Jim Wheeler, great sax player from Loggins and Messina. We got some Van Morrison we're going to be playing, and we need him on that.
Are you going to do what is that, Triple O Honey?
Tupelo Honey.
Oh, are you going to sing that again?
Maybe. It might happen.
I don't mean to break your vibe here, but
no, it's okay.
Oh man, when you sang that one year, it was so good.
Well,
the way you sang it, it was like I heard it for the first time. It was that great. I mean, you know,
it's an
anthem. I want to gas you, but it was fabulous.
It's an anthem.
Wonderful job.
For those of you who don't know, Tupelo Honey is the title track on a Van Morrison album that Ronnie Montrose got his break playing his first record with.
Oh, okay.
That was Ronnie Montrose's break, is getting into Van Morrison, and that was called Van Morrison's rock album because Ronnie was on it back in his day. But Tupelo Honey was a really sweet anthemic ballad.
Oh, you did it beautifully.
Yeah. Well, it helps when you have that whole section with the violins and everything else we had. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Who else is on your bill?
That's about it. We have other members of the Chicago Transit Authority, which was Danny Seraphine's band, and they do a lot of Chicago. Mark Bonilla is with that band and coming. Mike Wallace is a guitar player that plays with that band. And I think they changed the name now to California Transit Authority. Great musicians though, like musos, man, like just solid.
You've got all solid musicians on this bill.
Abe Byrne, flute player from Robbie Krieger's band. There's a lot of more players.
Awesome.
It's really hard to cover everybody, and more people are being added daily. So stay tuned on the internet for who keeps coming aboard.
They can find you on your Facebook page. You do a lot of that.
Yeah,
and then
we have the Ronnie Montrose Remembered Facebook page. There's RonnieMontroseRemembered.com. And those are the best ways to find us.
Nice. So now you were with Ronnie for 12 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And does it get easier with his passing? I know that having lost someone, that I kind of go ebbs and flows a little bit, even though it's been such a long time.
Yeah, it's always tough. As we get older in this life, we lose people, and even sometimes when we're kids, we lose people, and it's really hard. And with a guy like that you had so much time with, on and off stage, and these incredible spiritual vibes with, it's a big one when you lose somebody like that. But one of the reasons why myself and a lot of the rest of us who knew Ronnie well like to do this every year is because it gets us closer with him. It gives us some resolve, and we feel better. And I think the crowd, the fans that come, feel the same way. I feel them. They're really, they wanted it to keep going.
Yes.
And it ended, and everybody gets to give a little back and get a little back from each other when we do it. And it really is a trip. It's a big spiritual festival, and I feel like Ronnie's in the building, every year. And so do a lot of the other cats and gals that are there. But
what have you learned the most about yourself doing these shows? Oh
gosh, man. I learned that I could be a concert promoter. Not something I ever really wanted to do, but it just kind of fell in my lap, and I've actually been hired to do some other contracts. I won't talk about that.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. Okay. What do you miss most about Ronnie? Because you were with him, I would say, aside from Sammy Hagar, you were with him the longest.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah?
Well, Sam was only there for 2 years.
Okay. But
so,
I think,
by far the longest.
By far the longest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what is it that you miss the most?
Well, it's selfish, but I miss playing with him the most. Really.
Yeah,
I mean,
I bet.
that's the biggest thing. Once you get into that cycle, man, with somebody, and you got that energy with the crowd, that's just it's just wafting, and it's in your life, and that's like part of your thing.
Right.
You miss it. And but apart from that,
because you guys did a lot of songwriting together also.
we did some songwriting together.
Right.
We did more songwriting together in the beginning of our relationship than we did later. We did some later, but I didn't even really know about Ronnie's legacy and the depth of Montrose, because that came out from Long Island, New York.
Okay.
And Montrose wasn't heavy on the East Coast the way it was on the West Coast.
Sure.
And when I met Ronnie, it was just through Ed Roth, who was a studio musician in my world. I was doing a Burning Rain record with Doug, our first one.
Okay.
And Ed Roth introduced me and Ronnie and just said, "Hey man, you guys need to meet." And we just started going over each other's houses and writing tunes together. So that's how that started. And it wasn't really until we started playing out there and I saw what was happening and that I went, wait a minute, this is something really big,
Right, yeah.
And I started catching the vibe and finding out what it was all about. And, all my buddies out here in LA were like, "Hey man, that's the rock and roll Bible you're playing right now."
Yeah.
I was like, wow, cool.
Isn't that interesting, the East Coast and the West Coast, how it's different? Because certain bands like Twisted Sister wasn't that big of a deal out here. You know what I mean?
Well,
but back in your neck of the woods, they were gods, right?
Well, that's very true. Twisted was another Long Island band. There's a bunch of Long Island bands. It seems like the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and Long Island had a bunch of rock bands.
Yeah.
Right? And Twisted and Zebra were kind of around the same time. Really big in the Long Island clubs.
Yeah.
And they were both sort of just out of the clubs and on their way and having their big record deals as I was just getting into the clubs.
Okay.
I was too young to have seen them. And that's why it's so amazing to have Randy come into my show this year.
Yeah.
And, I met Randy, and the last time I went to a Zebra show, which is like my third time seeing them play, he invited me up to sing out of the blue. He just said, "Hey, Keith, come,"
That's awesome.
Like, what more can you ask for?
Yeah. Yeah. I love Zebra. In fact, that song, Tell Me What You Want, is just so brilliant. It's like a perfect song, like all the way through.
I love that song, too.
Such a great song. So anyways, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. How can people, and thank you for sharing some of your stories about Ronnie. I mean, we could go on and on because you guys were so close. Yeah. So how can people get tickets to the show?
Go to RonnieMontroseRemembered.com, and there'll be a ticket and VIP link. VIP packages include a whole bunch of stuff which you can read about online. You can find all that stuff just by going to Facebook, Ronnie Montrose Remembered, or if you can't find anything, you can go to a site called brownpapertickets.com and just look up start typing Ronnie and it'll fill itself in and you'll find it.
Nice. Well, I'll be there at the show for sure because I like to do my red carpet and get out there and give everybody a hard time.
Yeah,
Ask them who they're wearing.
We got a bitchin' red carpet happening for you this year.
For sure. All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you. All right. We'll see you guys at the show.